Don't go from 0 to 100 straight away. And I'm really glad you said that, because the way I've learned how to teach this to guys, I've heard some really alarming stuff about like young women being like choked too much, choked incorrectly, and it's causing brain damage and stuff like that. Young dudes seeing a lot of porn and not really understanding the nuance of how to do this correctly. I've had girls that I've worked with who asked me to do stuff that I didn't want to do. And I'm like, I have material that I keep behind a paywall for guys, which I can't put on social media, but it literally teaches exactly this. It teaches you how to have rough sex in a safe way, in a way that is exactly what she wants, in a way that arouses her, turns her on, gives her everything she needs. And I agree with you. I try to use language that isn't harder to misinterpret. But I use the terms dominant, I use the terms passionate, but let's be honest, that is rough sex. And it scratches an itch in the female psyche. And when I describe this, it's what I talked about before with this idea of a man needs to show his capacity for violence. Doesn't mean you're violent to her, doesn't mean you're hurting her. But this rough sex, dominant sex, passionate sex, however you want to phrase it, we all know what I'm talking about. This is what scratches that itch. It's that, oh, he can protect me. Oh, I didn't pick a pussy who's gonna back down. No, really. Like, I've got, this guy has I know this guy will enforce boundaries because he can do this to me. That is the masculine polarity. And a lot of guys, especially since the Me Too era, so many dudes are petrified of it.
Well, with that, and to protect men in this, that's not something you do with someone you just met. Like, it's not to say you can't have a passionate encounter, of course. You have to understand what division you're playing in. Like, if you're in JV, you can't start introducing varsity moves.
It goes back to what we said about reading body language. If you're an inexperienced guy and you hear like, oh, I need to be more rough, but you get with a girl for the first time and you have no experience doing this and you can't read her body language, you're probably going to cross a line.
And if she's really young too, right? So there's like people that are having their first sexual experiences that are trying to go in and they're like, oh, I've been watching his content. Like, okay, well, he's a man and he's been doing this for a long time. You are a young man and you are just entering the arena. So there has to be, like, you have to pay your dues. You don't just to go in and meet.
You don't go from 0 to 100.
Never.
Straight away.
Right.
And I'm really glad you said that, because the way I've learned how to teach this to guys is to break it into like a spectrum. Let's say at the 0 end of the spectrum is like holding hands, right? Super basic, right? And then at the 100 end of the spectrum, it might be something like CNC. I'm assuming people who watch shooting. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Look it up.
Google it. So CNC's at the other end. Along that spectrum is every different sex act, kink, role play, dynamic, toy, whatever, is somewhere along that spectrum. And if I can take a guy across that spectrum with little baby steps, like here's how we pull a girl's hair correctly so that she actually enjoys it and she goes into that like euphoric like headspace. Here's how we don't do it. You know, like here's a good and a bad example. You know what I mean? And then we move across. Like here's how we erotically asphyxiate a girl correctly so she enjoys it.
And no one gets hurt.
No one gets hurt. We're not damaging her windpipe. Here's what we do. Here's what we don't do. Right? We're baby stepping it. Show the body language. Like here's how she should be responding. You know, in a positive, happy way. Because a guy does not know what he's doing and he's not confident in what he's doing. You're sure as hell not going to be confident and fun with him. You're going to be scared shitless. Yeah. Right? You're not going to feel safe with him. Yeah. Right? And that's the kind of irony is dude who is like super timid and unsure of himself in the bedroom is actually scarier than the guy who's really confident but he's being rough. The dude who's like being like pussyfooting around, you're like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like he's demonstrating that he doesn't know how to be with you in a safe way. Not every woman is going to like everything along that spectrum. No. And not every guy is going to like doing everything on that spectrum either. It goes both ways. You want to find where you're comfortable along that spectrum and you enjoy doing these things and you're cool and you're into it and then you've obviously matched that perfectly with where she's into things, you know? I've had girls that I've worked with who asked me to do stuff that I didn't want to do and I'm like, damn, that's like that's quite extreme. Like,
do you get that because of your past?
You know what? Not as much as you would think. No. Okay. This is more when I was in the industry shooting content with other creators and stuff. Like there was one example of a girl who literally asked me to like punch her in the face. And,
oh my god!
And I wasn't like doing a full straight right. It was like tapping with like the knuckle bone on her cheekbone like this. You know, with other creators she did stuff that was a bit more extreme than that. But that sensation caused her to like orgasm. I was like, damn, that's like crazy.
That is intense.
Like I was very apprehensive to do that.
Yeah.
But she sort of explained it to me because you know both professionals, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Practice before the camera's on. Like she was like, that's exactly it. Bang. On that spectrum, I wouldn't have normally been comfortable going there, right? And she actually taught me something there. Have I ever done that with any other woman since then? No, because it's like she had to be very, very explicitly clear about what she wanted and for some of these more extreme things, you know? It's not necessarily a case of like all the guys are out there doing like really extreme stuff.
it's just what you hear.
I've heard some really alarming stuff about like young women being like choked too much and choked incorrectly, and it's causing brain damage and stuff like that. Like young dudes seeing a lot of porn and not really understanding the nuance of how to do this correctly. That's like what I'm trying to fix.
Yeah, lack of sex education.
Because women do it, like women enjoy that stuff when it's done correctly. They do enjoy it, and it's not harmful. But when you don't give guys like the actual factual information, and let's be honest, like most guys aren't gonna like ask their brother how to do this. They're not gonna ask their friends. Their friends are clueless. Their friends don't know what they're doing.
Blind leading them blind.
Yeah, it's a blind leading them blind. So it's like someone better step in and fucking teach them how to do it. Women are getting hyper-sexualized at a younger and younger age. More women are watching porn than were previously. Like in my generation, now, like compared to like, you know, Gen Z and the young and Gen Alpha, right? There's a lot more women watching pornography than there ever has been.
Why do you think it's shifted?
We've normalized it. What I mean when I say hypersexuality is I mean that women are showing off their bodies more and more and more at a younger and younger age.
Yeah.
Skirts are getting shorter, the outfits are getting shorter. You know, like now is a trend for women to walk around in restaurants with literal like lingerie tops and then a jacket over the top of it. That's a trend here in America. Like I had this argument with my last girlfriend, like, you're kidding me, right? That's a fucking teddy. Like you wear that in bed. You know, like so that's kind of what I mean when I say hypersexualization. Like that, and then like not every girl obviously, but most girls' Instagrams have some kind of a photo where they're sexualizing themselves, showing off their cleavage, showing that they're in a bikini, showing off their ass, and not even facing the camera. Like what else is this if it's not sexualizing yourself?
What I'm saying is like that's not new. I think women
I think the ability to sexualize yourself to the entire internet is definitely new.
The scale is.
Because then you got women intrasexual competition between women for male attention now. And I use Instagram as the main example because it's kind of where it's primarily happening, right? But so-and-so got like a BBL and lip fillers and a boob job. She's getting more attention from men. I'm gonna get a BBL and lip fillers and a boob job. There's sexual competition there for male attention, right? On Instagram, that's what I mean when I say hypersexualization. Like competition for male attention is just causing everything to ramp up and up and up and up and up. You can find posts on Instagram that are basically pornography. Like that would have been in a penthouse when we were kids, but you can see that like it's just openly on Instagram. I agree with you that women have always been sexual. Women are perverted.
Yeah.
Like
Read our books.
far more perverted than men probably than most men give them credit for. So I agree with that completely.